Hi, I'm Tammy, and today I'm going to do a man's clipper cut. So I actually had to go get a new pair of clippers a couple weeks ago, and I went to Sally's and the lady at the store suggested these, and they were actually more reasonable than I expected to pay. I don't think I spent more than $40. I think I would say maybe $36, $37. I can't remember the exact amount, but they work really well. I've already done a couple haircuts with them. They're the Astor Cool Vibes. Came with a pair of scissors, clipper guards, the 1, 2, 3, 4, the typical numbers, and a comb and some oil and a little brush to clean out your clippers. These are what I'm going to be using for my haircut today. Okay, this is my husband Alan, and we're going to be doing a clipper cut on him. I'm going to start in the back. I'm not going to be using any guards. I'm going to be doing a clipper cut over the comb, clippers over comb. What I'm going to do is I'm going to taper this all up pretty short, and then we're going to cut the top and blend it in. When you're doing it this way, just make sure that your clippers stay over the comb. Do not let the clippers go under or over the comb, or you will cut into the hair. So make sure the clippers stay right over the comb. So you actually don't want to do too much sideways. You want to kind of angle it as you go. You want to keep kind of turning the comb and lifting it as you go. You want to tilt the comb to go up as you go. You're using the comb as you would your hands. Your comb is replacing what your fingers usually do. Comb. I taught myself how to do a clipper over comb a long time ago because I felt I could have more control of the haircut. I can make the hair more shaped to the head. When you use the guards, it's not as easy to get a roundness to the hair. When you're doing clipper over comb, you actually have more control of the shape of the haircut. You get a nice taper that way. I actually figured out that if I lay the comb against it like this, because I started off using the guards, and I actually figured out that number 2, if I was going to use number 2, it would be almost the same length as using the comb on it. And number 1, I'd almost have to like really lay it on there. So I thought it was just easier to start learning how to just do everything with the comb instead of switching back and forth with all the guards. And the haircuts come out nicer this way. Now I'm going to do the sides. These are just beard trimmers. These are my husband's. They're the Conair beard trimmers. Okay, now I've cleaned up his neck. And now I'm going to wet the top of his hair down and we're going to blend the rest into it. I'm just taking a water bottle to wet down the top. For the top section of his hair, we're just going to pull it all up and round it off. I'm going to be pulling it straight across. I'm just going to cut it straight across, but I'm also going to hold my fingers like this in a rounded position. So I think I could show you by tilting his head. I'm rounding my fingers like that. And we're just going to be taking off about a ½ inch. See, I'm rounding my fingers. I'm rounding the middle finger. So the hair is going to be rounded and it'll blend better. You'll have an easier time blending if you round as you cut. If you try to just cut it straight across and then cut your corners, it's going to be boxy and you're going to have a hard time blending it in. So if you round your fingers throughout the whole haircut, it'll just sort of blend itself. Since I cut it this way, I'm going to double check it again the opposite way. I'm going to double check my haircut. I can see a little bit of, I can see some corners in there, but it's pretty even just the same. And his hair has a definite way that it likes to go. He has a cowlick back here and it's like a swirl. So we go with the swirl. We always part it this way. If your cowlick's on this side, you probably want to part it that way. But his cowlick is on the right side, so we always part it this way. We're going to blend the top section with the sides, and we're going to do a rounding technique. I'm going to round my middle finger. You know, with men's haircuts, you can see your mistakes. You can see, if you really look at it, you should see if there's a heaviness in the haircut where it needs to be cut. It should all blend in perfectly. And it's pretty blended at this point, but now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my texturizing thinning shears and we're going to blend it some more. These scissors probably take out, I would say, about 20%, these texturizing scissors. Just going to focus on the heavy spots, and I'm just going to blend this up slightly, and we're actually going to thin the top of his hair out because the top of his hair is too thick. So I'm just using this to blend. To style it, I'm going to use the Crew Forming Cream, American Crew Forming Cream. Just going to use a little bit. Rub it between your fingers and your hands. Kind of work it in. Okay, these are the results from our haircut. As you can see, it's nice and tapered. Okay, that's it. Okay, this is my husband, Alan.